This is a closet evaluation for Raychel, and although you may be viewing it, I will be speaking directly to Raychel during this video, but she has given permission for this to play on YouTube and for people to learn from her experience. So let's get going. The first thing I want to talk about are the first impressions I have of Raychel's page. So her Poshmark closet here. So the first things I notice are her pictures. So her profile picture and her header image are both personalized towards her. It looks like her. She's young and energetic and fun. And I love this header picture that we have with the bridge and the fall trees in the background. That's really pretty, and she looks like a cool, fun person in her profile picture, so I think those are really good. The only thing I would recommend to Raychel is in the future, if you want to make this closet a business, then I would eventually think about branding. But I think that as a brand new Poshmark seller, which you've told me you are, this is your first month selling on Poshmark, those are things to think about way in the future, not anything you should be really worried about right now. For right now, I think those look really good. I also see that you have the offer for 10% off 2 or more items from your closet. That is good, except we will talk about more about that here in just a little while. It is good to have some type of offer on a bundle, whatever offer you choose to make. So, but for right now, that's good. We'll talk more about that in a moment. In your My Info, you have that you're a full-time student, which is great and wonderful. And but I would say that that is right there. That's from prime real estate. So what I would put right there is something that's going to sell you. And being new, you may not have a whole lot of that. So, and I don't mean that in a mean way at all. You just don't have a whole lot of experience. So there may be things that are hard to find that, you know, is going to sell you as a seller. So, you know, being a full-time student may be what's selling you. You know, the only thing is I would try to make that more like, you know, that you're a student entrepreneur. Maybe that would be something interesting to put there. That you're that catches that you're a student, but you're also an entrepreneur. Or you could put that you're a posh boss or something like that. That's also a great place that if you're running a sale, that's a great place to put a sale. If you'll see, I'll click over to mine real quick. You'll see that I have 3 for $30 sale. I also have on there that I'm a top seller and a posh mentor. So anything, there's only so many characters you can put there, but anything that you want to get across to somebody when they first come to your site, that's where you put that right there. I also noticed that you've listened to somebody because you have an exclamation point at the beginning of your name, which is very good, because when people go to big follow lists, they are alphabetized, and the exclamation point for some reason is at the beginning. So that puts you at the beginning of the list. So when people start following, just, you know, mass follows, that's going to help you get followed more, which is really great. So getting new followers is great, but not 100% essential. You can be successful at Poshmark without having large number of followers. So let's kind of, while we're in that topic, let's kind of talk about the followers. Okay, so your followers, you're at 3,000, which you've, like, this is your first month. That's great. 700 following, great. You have a good number of shares for your first month also. That's good. And you have a good number of listings for your first month. So let's look at shares real quick, because I noticed when, oh, I'm on your shares. Whoops. Let's go back to your listings. Okay, so this was your closet. So that was not your closet. So on your listings, I noticed that the first couple of listings look good. I think that that's pretty clean. Like if that's what you see when you come to someone's closet, that looks good. So we'll talk more about pictures further down, further on in this conversation. So let's go to shares. Back to shares for a second, because I noticed something. you can see right here, these are the shares you've given. They're in chronological order, reverse chronological order. So these are the most recent shares you've done. So these are the people that you've shared. All these people. Okay, let's find you. Do. Do you see you? Because I don't. We've gone through at least 100 shares, and I don't see you sharing yourself. So the most important, I still don't see you. The most important shares you do are for you. You have to share you. So the way Poshmark works is when someone is shopping, I still don't see you. So I'm really worried about this. So the first thing when someone's shopping on Poshmark, so let's go to my closet real quick. So if I was going to search listings, okay, let's just say, I don't know, Levi's. Okay, so if I go to Levi's, look over here. What does it pop up as? Just shared. That is the default for Poshmark, is just shared. Okay, the only way you get just shared is by sharing your own items. If someone else shares your item, it does not push it up in the just shared list. If you share someone else's items, it does not push their items up into the just shared list. The only thing sharing someone else's items does is share it at that moment in time to your followers. Only your followers, which are these 3,000 people right here. So these 3,000 people, when you shared this item right here from MBA 2002, when you shared that item, at that moment in time, any of these 3,000 people who are just happen to be sitting in their news feed at that moment might have seen it. This is the same if you're expecting these people to share your items. So even if they have 100,000, like, you know, I have 100,000 followers. Okay, so even if they have 100,000 followers and you're like, ooh, I really want this person to share my closet, it's still more important for you to share your own closet, because them sharing your closet might possibly get a little small portion potentially of these people to see your item, but it's still no 100% guarantee. So the most useful way to spend your share time is to share your own closet. I know, and I've actually had to break this this cycle of my own for my own closet. Is I have been a lot into sharing other people's and having them return my shares, but then again, I always shared my own closet much more than I shared other people's. So it's not that it's wrong to share other people's closets. You 100% can and should share other people's closets, because, you know, Poshmark is a community community app or community platform. So they look fondly upon sharing other people's items. But if your goal is to sell your items, you need to be sharing your items. You don't have that many. I think I counted, and you're right around 40 active listings. You could very easily, I know that the recommended amount of sharing is 3 to 4 times of your own closet per day, but with that many listings and the new share features, which I hope you know about this, but I'm going to show you anyways on my closet. On your closet, if you go to this little icon over here, this little wrench looking thing, if you click on that and then click share to followers. Now, this is not reasonable on my closet because I have over 700 listings, but on your closet with just about 40 listings, this would not be time consuming at all, because you would then click on each one of these, okay, and all you do is click on them. This wouldn't take you very much time at all because you have maybe that much right there. Okay, so you would click on your listings and then click share to followers, and it shares all of those listings for you. With 40 some odd listings, you should be able to do that many times a day. In the time you can share 10 listings of someone else's, you could share your entire closet. And you need to really be focusing on your closet. Again, not to say that you can't share other people or that you shouldn't share other people, and we'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes, but put you first. You need to be first on the sharing. So enough about that for the moment. Hold on, let me get my little list back here. My phone closed on me. Okay, so next let's look at your listings. So you sent me, I requested from you 2 listings, and I asked you to send me the one that you thought was the best. So let's look at the one that you told me you thought was the best, and that's this new without tag legging and crop top set in light blue. Okay, so first of all, right off the bat, that's a great cover photo. You found a stock photo, great. There's a lot of back and forth about whether stock photos are good or bad. I personally think that if you can find a stock photo, you should use it. If you'll look through my closet, hold on, this is a lot of not stock photos, but there's a stock photo right there. Okay, so there's a stock photo. There's a stock photo. Like, you can see where I have stock photos, and they look really good. They're modeled. There's some stock photos, a whole bunch of them right there. They just look really good. So I'm just going to point this out real quick. I'm actually going to recommend for you, when we get to pictures, a white background. I'm in the process of branding. As you can see, like these ones with the little hot posh and the different watercolors in the background, those are my new branding photos. Not all of them are done, as you can tell, but that's something that I've worked my way up to. So I don't think that at this point in time that's something for you to do. I think you should definitely stick with just the white background. So, like, for example, this white background looks great right here. There's nothing wrong with this one, although I personally probably would have thrown that into photo room over here and just taken out that background. It would have taken 2 seconds, and then have all of your photos with the white background. I think if you just have all of them like that, as a new closet, I think that's just going to make you appear more professional. You don't have a lot to go on at this point because you are new, so you don't have a reputation to fall back on. All you have to fall back on right now is the first impression someone sees right here. So, and I know that you told me that you didn't want the only thing to be said is that you need better photos. But that is a big deal. I mean, it's not the only, trust me, not the only thing we're going to talk about, but that is a big deal to have really good photos. So that's something we're gonna work on. Okay, so let's see. That was the first listing. This one right here that you said that you felt like was one of your really good listings. Now, I'm not familiar with this brand, but I kind of ran some comps on it. And if you don't know how to run comps, let me kind of show you. So you're going to want to take the listing, and this is Rowie legging and crop top set activewear. Okay, so you're just going to go listing here and run it. So how did you spell it? Rowie, sorry, I'm old. Rowie crop top and legging set. All right, so what you're interested in are a couple things. A, what's for sale? Okay, so with that phrase, you've got 2 of the 3 things for sale. Okay, so but the thing that you're really interested in is what has sold. Okay, so here are things that have sold, and what you're looking at are prices. So let's get rid of this just shared and kind of go to relevance. And kind of let's see what we have there. Okay, so I feel like I wasn't so sure about your pricing just because that's not something I'm familiar with, but I feel like that you're probably pretty right on with the pricing. So my advice to you, if you're right on with the pricing, would be we need to work on sourcing. I'm not sure if this was something that you had of your own. New without tags. I don't know if this is something you had that belonged to you or if you sourced this. But we need to work on sourcing. Didn't fit me. So I guess this was something you had of your own. Okay, so that's fine. So, but if your goal, which you told me your goal was, let's see. You told me your goal was essentially to make this a little bit of extra money on the side to help you pay for college. So, i.e. the traditional side hustle. So if you want it to be a side hustle, you want it to be worth your time. So here's the thing. With this right here, we'll pretend for a minute that you sourced this. Okay, I know you didn't, but let's pretend for a minute that you actually sourced this. This would not be something I would have sourced, because even if you sell it, because I think you're probably pretty close on the dime for the money there. So even if you did sell it at this full price of $15, Poshmark's going to take $3 of that. So that leaves you $12. Okay, so say you sourced this and you paid $2 for it. You're only making $10. Is $10 worth the time you spent to create this listing and then share it to get it to the point of selling it, and the effort that you have to put in not only to create it and share it, but then to package it and ship it out? So is that $10 worth it? Would be my question. So everyone's got to kind of answer this for themselves. Everybody knows what their time is worth. I feel like that you could spend your time in better ways. So what I would recommend is that you start thinking about, when you do source, that you start thinking about items that you can source for a higher dollar amount that are going to sell for more, not list for $25, but sell for more than $25. Because then you might be getting closer to like it being worth your time and effort. And that is probably the lowest I would go. I think for you, I think when you're sourcing, you need to think about, if I can't sell this for $25, I'm not going to get it. Just leave it behind. I don't care if it costs $1. Leave it behind. If you can't sell it for $25. Okay, this is going to make your time much more paid off. You're going to get a lot more bang for your buck in what you're doing. I mean, you're spending time doing this, so you want it to be effective. You want to actually get some return in the form of money for the time you're spending. For some reason, my screen isn't wanting to scroll. Okay, so that's sourcing. I kind of have sourcing further down on my list, but we kind of just talked about it right there. But we're going to get deeper into sourcing here in a little while. Well, for some reason, my touch screen's not working. Okay, so let's see. My touch screen quit working. So the thing you told me that you thought needed the most work was this with the boots. Okay, and I noticed you have 2 pairs of these. There, my screen's working again. In 2 different sizes. So I don't know if you sourced that or if you didn't know what size you needed or what, but I did notice you've got 2 different pairs. So let's, real quick, let's see if we can, comp this. Wambly Rampage Pointed Toe Cowboy Boots. Okay, so Wambly. Hold on, I can't spell. Wambly Cowboy Boots. Okay, so this person over here, there's some that are new with tags. So you look like you're probably pretty good in your original price. Might be a little bit higher. I will tell you, I actually don't put original prices in very often. I generally put 0 unless I know 100% what the original price was. And if I know that I'm going to offer, that I can price my listing at a point in which the difference is going to be substantial, which you do have a substantial difference there. So that's fine as long as you know for sure that that is the price. Now this person over here, these look like a very similar pair of boots, and they have 70. So if you don't know for sure, just put 0. See this 0? That's really common. But because especially like if this really is worth 70, if these really are worth 70 and you put 55, that's a big difference. So if you're offering something for $25 that was $70, that looks more impressive. Even though 55 to 25 looks impressive, that looks even more impressive. So be sure that if you're going to put a number here, that it is an accurate number. Not to say that it's not accurate. I'm just saying based off of what this person has. Okay, let's look at what has sold, because that's really where you need to be looking at for your prices. So here are boots that have sold, and I kind of feel like maybe you have kind of looked around, but remember this is for everyone. So these, you look like you are kind of in the right range. Okay, you look like you're in the right range. So let's talk about, I think you're in the right range as far as a sale price. So I think, so if you look around, you'll see 20, 25s, a lot of 20 to 25s, a lot of 20 to 25s. Okay, so that's what these sold for. But you are unlikely, very unlikely, people that especially come to Poshmark, they want a deal. Okay, so they want to be getting a deal. All right, so nobody, unless someone just happens in off the street of Google search and finds this and is like, oh, that's exactly what I want for exactly the price I want, most people are not going to just hit this buy now button. Okay, most people are going to want to haggle in some way. They're either going to want an offer from you or a discounted price, or, you know, so you need to leave yourself wiggle room right here so that you can get the price you want after the discounts. So my general rule of thumb is I do a lot of 30% discounts. Plus, you also need room for shipping. So, I mean, even if you were to do an offer to Liker right here, you'd have to do 10%, a minimum of 10% off, plus a shipping discount. So right there, you're dropping down at $20, and then Poshmark's going to take their 20%. So now you're at $15. So even if you did an offer to Liker of 10%, you're going to maybe get $12 to $15 in your pocket. Is that what you want to get? So is $12 to $15, is that where you're wanting to be for your value of your time? So I'm feeling like that you're pricing at what you want to sell at, but you really need to price a little bit higher than what you want to sell at. Like I said, generally speaking, about 30%. I would say roughly the 30% range. So if you're wanting to get $20 to $25 for these sold, you want to sell them for $20 to $25, you need to list them at like 30. So you would need these prices to be around 30 to be selling in the 20 to 25 range, which, like we just said a few minutes ago, you really want to try to sell at $25 or higher. That's when things are going to be, what is it doing? What is it doing? That's when things are going to start being worth your time. There we go. Okay, so again, I don't know if you sourced this. I don't see anything in your description here that would suggest one way or the other. So if you did source this, if you got this for, very little money, that's fine. But if you paid, any more than $3 to $5 for this and pricing it at 25, you're not even gonna really get your money's worth. So what I would suggest you do with this right here, this listing, is relist it. Okay, so if you don't know how to relist, let me see. Now I'm going to be real honest with you. This Chromebook is actually new, and I have for a very long time used just my phone. So I'm not super great with the screen like this. But if you are not familiar with relisting, let's say we're going to relist this. Okay. So you would go to edit listing, and eventually it will open up. Okay. So what you're going to want to do is go to copy listing. Okay, so you're going to copy listing, and when you copy the listing, you are going to change your price. Okay, so that is where I want you to go ahead and copy that listing and change the price to $30. Okay, you've not been on Poshmark long enough for this to actually show up in your just shared, and it may cause you, do you have any likes on this? You have 1 like. So maybe what I would do is, before you do that, maybe let this person know. You can send her a message and just let her know that today's closet clear out, because it is, or whenever, closet clear out is generally speaking Fridays and Sundays. So just let her know that it's closet clear out, and that if you drop this price to, I think it's going to make you do $22. So if you drop that price to $22, she will also get discounted shipping. And just let me know if you want that or not. Okay? Or you can just go ahead and do it. You can go ahead and drop the price to $22. It's going to do it. It's going to let you, it's going to send that. Then it would send that to this young lady right here. And if she doesn't bite, then that is the point at which I want you to relist this. So then you would go through here and you would copy this listing and change the price. I'm not going to do it on mine, but there's just a place where you would just change your price and relist it, and then delete the old listing. Just delete it. Just go, it would be just like this. It would be edit. You do the same thing. You go into the old listing, you click edit, and when it comes up, you would it was right down there where copy listing was, and you would just hit delete listing. Okay, and that's just going to get rid of it. And all that's doing, the reason you need to do that when you raise your price is because it allows you wiggle room. If you raise your price without doing that, then you are going to have problems with alerts not going out that you've given a discount. And you want your alerts to go out. So, and you've only got 1 liker, so I would give it an offer to her, and if she doesn't want it, move on with life on that one. Okay? So that is what I would say about that part. Your title looks good. I don't see any issues there. Your description looks good. I'm just reading to see if I see anywhere. I put on my descriptions. This is just like I've already told you. I have, because I've been around a little longer. I have more stuff to write. But this right here is what goes on to all of my listings. So some of the stuff you couldn't say, but you could say this about shipping. You could say same or next day shipping. You could say something about offers. One thing about offers is don't use the word reasonable, because it's kind of off-putting. This is another thing I've learned. Instead of putting like used condition, put pre-loved condition. That seems to work a lot better in listings too. So where you have slightly worn, maybe put, or like condition good, put pre-loved, because you can put the good also, but put pre-loved in there because it's just a nice way of saying that it's used. Okay, so 2 pictures. I think that it would be a good idea to, I don't think you're going to be able to fix the lighting in this picture without retaking it, unfortunately. So what I would say is be very careful when you set up. I see you've got like a board in the background. That's great. And like as far as the background, you could go over to photo room right here and just, you could take every little piece of this, which I actually would recommend doing, to be honest with you. Take all of that out. And so just have just the boots. But that's not going to get rid of, when you do that, all these weird shadows. You're not going to be able to get rid of those. So all those weird like highlights and lowlights, because it's too bright here and too dark all in here, you're not going to really be able to easily fix that without just retaking the photos. So if it's worth your time, if you feel like it's worth your time, then retake them. And you know, maybe next time you are doing pictures, just grab these real quick and retake these. You want to be careful. Like you could probably see this when you were taking these pictures. So you just want to be very careful. It looks like maybe you've got a window over here. Maybe like put a sheet up or something, or close your shades, because you don't want the direct brightness. You want the light to be more of a glowing light as opposed to like a bright light. Or maybe change the direction at which you've got this board. I'm not sure which would be best. You kind of have to play around with this. Also, one thing I found when my photo area starts getting lines like this that I don't want, I just wait a little while. I can't really maneuver my area very much. It is what it is. So if the sun is so bright and it's hitting at a certain time that it's making these lines like this, then I'll just stop for photographing, do something else, and wait an hour or two until it passes to the point of where we don't have these lines. Because if it wasn't for those lines, if we were all bright or all dark, we could work with it. Then you could mess with some highlights, lowlights, contrast type things to kind of try to fix that. But where it's a little bit of both and they're so extreme, you're not going to easily, I mean, you need to be a Photoshop wizard to fix that. So the best thing to do is just retake that. If in the meantime you just want to see if you can get it gone without putting that effort in, then the next thing I'm going to recommend with your whole closet is that you just open up Photo Room. That you can get this on your phone or on your Chromebook or whatever. There is a free version, and the free version will remove the backgrounds. So it takes seconds. It's super duper easy. And if you don't have your photos saved, if for some reason you've gotten rid of them, then just save them. You know, there you go. Just save your images. Like resave them. I do that all the time with old, like where I've been redoing my branding. I've had to do that. I don't have some of these pictures from things that I've posted that I listed months ago. So I've had to save them and then edit them and then post them back in. So if you don't have them, just save it, pop over in there into Photo Room. When it's a couple clicks and that background's gone, and you save it again with the saved background, and you just come in here and edit your listing and put the better pictures in. And even if you don't have time to correct this lighting, at least this will look a whole lot better. And I think it will, you know, maybe take this photo from, I mean, right now, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 3, and it might take it to like a 7 if you just cleared that all out. It's still going to have issues because you've got all this lighting stuff, but it will improve it some. And I would do that for all of these, just all of these thumbnails over here. I would just click on each one. If you need to save them, and redo them. But I would definitely consider retaking these pictures if you have time. Okay, other than that, I think this, let's see, you have women's shoes, boots, western heeled cowgirl. That all looks good. Very good for using your style tags. Good job. Okay, so I think that is my main recommendations for that. I mean, overall, you're doing really good. I mean, this looks pretty stellar. I would maybe put some of these words also up here in your description, or also in, you have cowboy, cowgirl. If you have room, I don't know if you have room in this or not, you can you can shorten size to SZ, and you can also shorten heel to just heel or heels if you need to shorten things to get maybe the word western in there. Maybe pick one of these if you have to, because I think the word western getting into your title would be really good. But other than that, okay, that looks good. So let's go back. Okay, let me see where we are on my checklist. Okay. So your best listing, your needs improvement listing. Okay, so we've kind of talked about your pictures overall. So let's talk about these. Okay, so I already talked to you. I kind of talked to you in a private message about this right here. Okay, I get it. You took a picture of it on a screen, you found it, and you took a picture of it, and you were like, bam, there we go. Okay, take 10 more seconds. So all I did to get the pictures I sent you was I took this picture and I put it into Google Lens, which is free. I have it on my phone. You can put it on your Chromebook or whatever. Google Lens, it found it immediately. It was the first thing it brought up. All these little thumbnails this person has over here, you can see them. Those are the pictures that it brought up. So they are not in the correct format. As you can see, they're a little long. So they're not in the correct format for Poshmark. So what I did after I found them and downloaded them, which was quick and easy, I just copied them straight off of the web. I took them into Photo Room, and Photo Room has a Poshmark setting. So I put each one into the Poshmark setting, and it removed the white background that was already there. So I wasn't trying to remove background. What I was really trying to do is just get it in the right format. So it formatted them all into that square format, so that if you put one of these long photos in and it wants to crop it, it's going to want to crop like half her head off and like half the bottom of the dress and stuff like that, and get rid of all the white space. Well, instead, if you put them into Photo Room, into the Poshmark setting, it will format it so that it gets all of the image, all of the girl, all of the image, so that it looks good, but still in the correct dimensions that Poshmark wants for their pictures. So that's what I did, and I sent those to you already, and it's going to take this cover shot from a 2 to a 10. So there you go. It took very little effort. It was just a matter of Google Lens and Photoshop, and luckily this just popped right up. All those little thumbnails right there. So it wasn't hard at all. You can do that same thing for maybe for these cowboy boots. You could find those possibly. Possibly this sweatshirt right here, but it looks like it's kind of older. So you may not find some of these older things. So it may not work on some of these. It doesn't work very well on jeans at all, I've noticed. But what I would say in regards to your jeans is, although these look great, although these look really great, if you like this wanna bet a butt, which that's new to me, but I do want to bet a butt. But like, I noticed that these jeans there are stock photos all over the place. And if you search, let's go over here and let's search wanna bet a butt. Okay. And okay, so here's current listings. There's active listings. Okay. But let's go, where's the solds? Did I go too far? Okay. Let's look at what's sold. Okay, here we go. We got some stock photos. Stock photos. Now there's a lot without stock photos, but I swear I saw, maybe I was Google searching it earlier. But like this, even though they didn't sell it for very much, this is a much more appealing photo. And then you could have your other photos, like see like this. Ooh, there we go. $39, new with tags. But some of yours were new with tags. So definitely get these stock photos. Like, it's just give it a good Google search. And I noticed maybe I was Google searching. Yeah, I must have, because it popped right up. Okay, so I clicked on images. Bam, there's all kinds. And if you know the style of what you've got, if it's on the tag, or some of yours were new with tags, you could probably just pop the style name in right there, and it's going to get you the exact picture you want. Now, I mean, do make sure that you've got the correct thing, that you're not got some other style or cut or anything like that. But try to get those. Now, here's another example right here. So say I see why they've got it on red because those are very light pants. But say that you did have this darker background. You want to keep the goal that we were talking about is to keep your backgrounds clean, because that consistency in your closet is going to make you as a new seller appear more professional. As you get further in, like I said, if you want to do branding and stuff like that, that's different. But for right now, I would definitely try to keep your backgrounds crisp and clear. I hope you've enjoyed this closet evaluation so far. This turned out to be quite a long evaluation, so I have decided to make it into 2 videos. So this is the end of part 1, and there will be a part 2. So to be continued. Be sure to come back, and be sure that if you like this video to click like, and if you like reseller and Poshmark content, be sure to subscribe to my channel for updates and notifications. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye.